Welcome to the Selling Dreams podcast. Selling Dreams is an entertaining, heartfelt look at life through Freddy's journey to find love, identity, and fulfillment. Each episode dives into his wild adventures, relationship struggles, and career pursuits. With raw, relatable, and often hilarious stories, Freddy keeps listeners laughing, reflecting, and occasionally cringing. Join him as he chases dreams and tries to avoid trouble along the way. Disclaimer: the Selling Dreams podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts are his own and do not necessarily reflect those of the podcast creators or affiliates. Content may include discussions on sensitive topics that are intended to provide insights, not professional advice. We encourage listeners to seek professional guidance for any personal issues or concerns. Listener discretion is advised.
Let's begin. Hey guys, welcome back to the Seven Dreams podcast. So, tonight, episode 7, finally getting through to do this. Have you ever experienced intense feelings of rejection or criticism that seem overwhelming or out of proportion? This is how I felt for most of my life, from being a child through being a teenager to being a young adult even today. It's the reason why I had to become Freddy. So, stick around with me on this journey. Tonight we're talking about Rejection Sensitivity Disorder.
In common terms, OSD rejection sensitive dysphoria is an intense emotional reaction to perceived rejection or criticism. People with OSD feel deep pain, embarrassment, or anger when they think they've been rejected or judged negatively, even if it's minor or unintentional. This reaction is common in people with ADHD, but can affect anyone. It often leads to avoiding situations where they might feel judged or misunderstood.
Welcome back, dreamers, to the Selling Dreams podcast. I am your host, Freddy. Those of you who do not know, I suffer from, I shouldn't say so, but I live with adults diagnosed ADHD, also known as Attention Deficit or Hyperactivity Disorder.
ADHD, or Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, is a condition that makes it hard for people to focus, stay still, and control their impulses. People with ADHD may feel easily distracted, restless, or act without thinking, which can affect their daily life, school, or work. It's common in children, but can continue into adulthood.
I had feelings of rejection. I believe everybody was criticizing me. It was like one thing after the other. So, what are the things that you deal with rejection sensitivity disorder is that it's a constant. You believe that the people around you are just putting up with you, or in some cases, they're just there trying their best to tolerate your existence. It ain't a nice feeling. Rejection sensitivity disorder actually is a condition that usually accompanies attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. It's actually very, very common. A lot of people don't know that they're living with it. So what it really does is that automatically ADHD people, we think differently to normal people. Our thought processes are different. Our ability to control or focus is also different. So we have different processes in our mental issues. I wouldn't say issues, but mentally we deal with things differently. One of the things that we deal with differently is love, or the perception of love. So if you have RSD, or rejection sensitivity disorder, your perception of love is going to be a little skewed, or extremely skewed according to your situation. So I was 10 when I came out to my mom and told my mom that I don't believe anybody loves me. It was a hard time for me as a child, but this was years of loneliness. First 2 years of my life, I lived with my grandparents on a farm, but there were cousins before me and cousins after me, so I always had somebody around my age. But I mainly lived with Granny and Grandpa. Then around 2, my mom took me back in, and she was able to look after me and work at the same time. And until I turned 4, it was just me alone. As a child, I spent a lot of time looking out windows, especially at the rain, or just observing. I like to look at people. At the time when we moved into our development, there wasn't much people living there yet. So there was much opportunity to look at people. My little brother born, and he was my world. Up to this day, I can't do anything without my brother. I got to call him like every other day and just make sure he's okay. Then, a year and 80 days apart, my sister was born. She was considerably a lot smaller than him, and not as rough and tumble and eager to play as he. But she always wanted to do everything we were doing. But there was not a connection really, because with the 4-year and 5-year difference, they had their friends, everybody's like, oh, the babies, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm still here. So at the age of 10, my brother is 6, my sister is 5. So at the age of 10, I'm getting ready for common entrance exam, getting ready to go up to do the exam, a placement exam here in Trinidad, to go up to secondary school, where you choose your secondary school. And everybody's making a big fuss over it, and I just couldn't care less. I had finally started fitting with my primary school friends. Finally got accepted. There was less fighting and less arguing with my friends. And then now I have to leave them and move up to a new group of friends. And my mom took me to, first we did counseling with church leaders and faith-based counseling and healing. And then when that didn't work, we did psychologists and psychiatrists. That went interesting for a while, but it never really dealt with that part of it, right? I keep saying RSD hampers how we establish healthy relationships. Because when I was younger, in the intermixing of friends, I would see a girl my age and I'd say, hey, I like you. And girls my age would tell me, that's nice. I don't think about you like that. I would hear, oh, get away from me, you lowlife, or you are not worthy of my attention. And I would go into this depression for days. And I would listen to every slow jam tune that was on the radio. I didn't have my own cassettes yet. When I got my own cassette player, I started making my own slow jams. And I actually did cry a lot growing up. 11, 12, 13, cried a lot. And then something strange happened at the age of 13. Now, I know this is taboo at the time I'm recording this. However, this, I've had this since I was about 10, 11. I started shaving my mustache at 10. Beard started coming in 11, 12, 13. So by Form 3, I've been putting wreaths on my face. And some of my friends is like, yeah. I mean, I was big. I was about 5'10", 5'8". So I got a pass for adult most times. And there was this beautiful young lady. She was a student teacher. I don't know if she thought that I was older, a lot older, but things got very familiar between the two of us, and that ended up being my first experience, sexual experience. And it really was because I wanted to fit in with my friends. In Form 1 and Form 2, everybody talked about, what they was going to do, how they're going to do it, how the first time going to be, or who had the first time already. And I grew up in an age where one or two of my friends got married because of arranged marriages. So, yeah, I want to know too. And because I was part of a religious family, one of my prayers was, dear Lord, don't let the rapture happen before I get old enough to have a family and have sex. Looking back, it's real ridiculous. But that is how I grew up. That is how being Freddy started coming about. So, age of 13, had my first sexual experience. It was embarrassing. I was a novice. I knew nothing of nothing. Then at age 14, I got the opportunity again. But never with people my own age. Traditionally, in my life, girls younger than me and women older than me also found me attractive. It's like, oh, you're so cute. And girls my age were like, oh my Lord, you're hideous. Your ears are too big. Wow. Those teeth are huge. Why do you look like that? Can you do something like with this? Fix this? Can't fix this? Nah, I don't like you. But we were always good friends. Got hugs every morning. It's like I was just out there hugging girls every morning. I'd like get to school real early so I could go around and hug all my female friends. And that physical expression was what I was looking for, that love. So 14, got involved with a woman who was like 19, 20. She didn't know I was at school. Well, she didn't know I was in high school. She thought I was in a training program who was similar uniform to us. I was lucky our school was white and black. I just took off my monogram and was like, hey, I'm a big man out here in the streets, Carry forward. Left Northeastern at 16, moved to the US. Said, all right, things gonna be different place. They don't know me. They don't know me like that. First girlfriend, Shireen. I did not have a choice. I was like 4 minutes into school. You, come here. I like you. You're gonna be my boyfriend. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's probably how we all do it up here. Then I find out that my new girlfriend rides the short bus. Did not sit well. But she was cool. We didn't do anything because I have the phobia of going to jail. So high school, stateside, tried my best not to be with persons under the age 18. So a lot of confusions growing up. And you would like a girl and then she would not like you back. And I moved on until I met Yolanda. She hated that name. She always went by her whole name, Tamika. Very gorgeous. She reminded me of Queen Latifah. We were the same age. We were both 18. And I thought that physical lovemaking was love. Yes, in my heart, I know I wanted to be with her. I wanted her. But there came a time I was getting ready to go to college. She was getting ready for college, and opportunities didn't work out how I wanted, and I had to return home to Trinidad. And when I got back here and the whole long distance relationships started to fall apart, I was like, that's when I realized that I did love her, but it didn't feel the usual, the skewed version of love, which what I'm accustomed to with RSD. I'm accustomed putting 150% into any relationship. Nowadays, you all call it love bombing. In my days, I was just a guy who wanted to feel love, so I showed love. Grandmother always said, don't ask of somebody what you're not willing to give. So I do everything. I do the stuffed toys, walk you home, hang out, take you to dinner, that kind of stuff. I was a real romantic. And at first I would not see the flaws. And then when the flaws did start to appear, I started to look beyond the flaws. And somewhere in my 20s, I realized that yes, more and more women were accepting my advances. In fact, it got to a point where more women were asking me out than I was asking them out. But not to feel rejected, I put up with a lot of stuff. And then one day I started putting my foot down. I was like, listen, if it's not going to be like this, I don't want it. So, started teaching. Started teaching when I was 23. I just turned 23. And there's this beautiful woman, dark, short, curvy, curly hair. I'm smitten by her. We work together. She's 8 years older than me or something like that. And, at first I was like, I know she likes me. I think she knows I like her. I was giving her a lot of attention, teaching her class phys ed and these things. And then got brave enough. I think I went old school. I gave her a card or something. And she was like, put a number in the card, and she gave it back to me. I was like, all right, pay a call. Cell phones now came out in Trinidad. So there, call her up. Like, oh, she a church girl thing. She knows I'm a guy of the world. Has club, has party, and has do real stuff. She don't want to get her heart broken. I'm like, okay, I know about church. I know about church stuff, and I could do that. So first Sunday, I was like, hey, not Sunday, it was a Friday evening. I was like, listen, let me go to church with you. Let me see what you're about. Let me see your peoples. We went to church together. It was nice. Went through the usual courtship, met mom, met dad. And I realized, hey, you know, this is what I'm missing. This is what feeling rejected in every relationship I've ever had. I finally met someone who's my person. You know what? I want to marry this girl. Gonna get married to this girl. And her church family didn't like me. Her regular family, oh, they're some of my closest friends. Actually, I saw them last weekend. And it was like, my brother-in-laws, they were like super cool. My sister-in-law, oh gosh, she's a darling. I miss Mom, Monica. They had a grandmother who was my darling Dolly. And I saw her, she was there too, and her niece and her daughter. And, I hugged her and I was like, still feeling so. But let's get back to how we feel love differently. So here I am. I'm going to solve my RSD, my loneliness, my depression, everything in one big swoop by having my own family. I'm going to have a wife that I love. I have my own kids. So I always believe that kids love their fathers no matter what. That's how I love my dad no matter what, no matter his faults, his shortcomings. That's my dad. Love my dad. So, get into it with her. We started to do a pre-marriage counseling. Pastor said, yo, Sundays thing, we want to make sure all this serious. It's like, yeah, man, I'm up there. Every Sunday church, Friday night church, because she's a prayer intercessor and she was on the praise team. And I love watching my girl praise the Lord. And I've always had a very close relationship with the Lord, being from family ministers. And I'm there and I'm in it. But I'm seeing the friction with me and the church guys. Wasn't thinking about it, like, you can't tie me down. I'm here for this. This is it. I'm here for this. And we're going along, and church is great, and people are great, and then one Sunday night, this is around carnival time now. For those of you who know how Trinidadians deal with carnival by itself is its own religion. So, I opted out of carnival. Me being a carnival baby, I was like, because my girl is a church girl. Now, there are church girls who do participate in carnival. But this particular church girl, she's like, nah, I don't believe in that. That's never been part of me, so, She said, but I understand if it is, you still want to be part of that life. I said, no, because I want to be part of your life. And she's like, you sure? You're not going to miss it? Yeah, I'm going to miss it, but still, it's just that. It's just carnival. So, this Sunday, slight rain, got down to pastor's house. And found during the session, pastor was a bit cold with me. I was like, whatever, you don't have to like me because, it's whatever. We're about a month away from nuptials. And I'm on top of the world. I can see everything I wanted coming. We're getting ready to leave after the session, and he's, hey, I need to see the two of you. Have a seat. I said, okay, cool, no scene. What could happen? Where were you Thursday night? Or by her? Thursday night? Yeah, I was home. You sure? I believe so. Don't really go nowhere. So Thursday night was home by her. Afterwards, walked home to the new apartment because we had an apartment getting ready because we were about to get married. So we got already moved into the apartment, furniture's there. So, well, if you're not going to come clean, I'm going to tell her where you were Thursday night. I'm like, sure. Let's do this. Where was I Tuesday night? Well, I saw you in Masafet Tuesday night. Excuse you? Wasafet? Nah, homie, you didn't see me. Yes, I saw you in Wasafet. Like, bruh, you didn't see me in Wasafet. No, here I am. My girl's with me all night. I left my girl's house 3 o'clock to walk home. No taxis. Had to walk home. When I got in, text her, baby, at home. She answered back, all right, babes. Sweet dreams, see you in the morning. We went to work like normal Friday. So I'm like, knowing what went on, my girl got my back. Psh, my girl ain't tripping. She has my back. So I thought. We left, got into a maxi. We're heading back to her place, her parents' house. And I tried to touch her hand and she pulls away. I'm like, what's going on? She's, nah, nothing. All right, cool. Got home. Mom's made dinner, we ate dinner. And it's about to leave and she's like, so you're still not going to come out and tell me the truth? I was like, tell the truth about what? About Thursday night. Babes, I was with you Thursday night. Me, you, Dolly, Monica. Thursday night, you're like normal. Walked home afterwards. Well, you could have gone Wasafet afterwards. So for those of you out there in Dreamland who don't know about Wasafet, most Trinidad fetes will finish around 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I've left my girl house at 3, half 3, and I walk home, which is 45 minutes in the dark. Go into my apartment, take a shower. After a full day of teaching, take a shower, get dressed, travel 30 minutes to the venue, enter the venue, and still had time to party till 4:30 when the party is officially over. In my mind, she's just a pastor, so during the week, things start to fall apart. And here comes RSD. She said, babes, I don't think that I could get married knowing that we haven't resolved this. Oh, she didn't say to call off the wedding. She just said, actually going forward with marriage until we resolve this, let's get this resolved first. We got about a month and a half. Let's work on this. And I heard, nah, I don't want you anymore. And I went full Freddy as I Cool. Cool. No problem. You want back the furniture? You can get back your furniture. The furniture that we bought. You want to get back the ring? We could sell the ring. It's like, what you mean? No, oh no, this is over. This is... By the time I got home, yeah, ma, this is over. Called my boy Tommy, it's over. And everybody's like, what do you mean? Nah, we good. I keep in the apartment, trying to work out what's going to go on with furniture, but tell all the boys, code 13. Last minute crew, all hands, code 13. Code 13 is the you don't know where I am code. Anybody asks you, no matter who it is, nah, I don't know. Even members of the crew could ask, yo, you see G? You see Freddy anywhere? Nope. Don't know. Code 13. Don't know where he is. Wasserfett is usually the second or third week of the carnival. I don't think I partied any harder for any carnival than that carnival. I submerged my pain into drinking and fetting. For those who know what I look like or sound like when I'm drunk, English is not that language I use. And I profess a lot of love to a lot of inanimate objects. Bottle of rum, lampposts, the occasional policeman's horse. That was freaky. Horse almost bit me. Horse didn't have that attraction for me the way I had attraction for her. I believe it was a her. It's not a her. Oh Lord. That carnival went by, carnival was over. Then I realized that my little one-room apartment was invaded by a whole bunch of people called friends. Because I partied so hard, I was like, everybody's like, hey, better go around. Nah, I live close. Let's go by me. Club done. We're going home. For what? Psh, home by me. Yo, it's Friday. Nobody has any money. Home by me. Years later, when we sat down and talk, she apologized. She explained that, how she felt and she was hurt and everything. I was like, girl, it wasn't you. It was more me. I took it as a rejection, as a full-blown rejection, and I went nuclear, which is how my RSD shows itself.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Selling Dreams podcast. We hope you enjoyed our conversation and gained some valuable insights. We're just getting started, so make sure to join us for part 2, where we'll dive even deeper. Don't forget to like and subscribe on whichever platform you're using, so you won't miss any updates. Your support means a lot to us, and it helps us keep bringing you more episodes like this one. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.